The majority of scholars agree that the Gospels were originally written and circulated anonymously and only secondarily had the traditional authorship that we know assigned to them. Hey everybody, I'm Dan McClellan. I'm a scholar of the Bible and religion, and while an awful lot of apologists don't like this consensus view and are going to let me know about it, one thing apologists have never been able to do is sway that consensus view, because there are very good reasons for thinking that the Gospels were originally written and circulated anonymously. To begin, none of the Gospels clearly identifies an author. The closest we get is the Gospel of John identifying the beloved disciple, who is nowhere identified in the Gospel, as the author. But a problem with that is that the verse that identifies the beloved disciple as the author goes on to say, "And we know his testimony is true." And we have absolutely no idea who "we" is, much less how much of the Gospel of John is the work of this "we." So internally, the Gospels are anonymous. We don't have any indication that the traditional authorship was circulating alongside the Gospels in their earliest years. The earliest reference we have to any authors comes in the early 2nd century CE with Papias, who says that Matthew and Mark each wrote Gospels. But you kind of have to squint at these descriptions of these texts quite a bit to get them to line up with what we have today. Because Papias says that Matthew wrote their gospel originally in Hebrew, and that's not the Gospel of Matthew as we have it. There's a better case to make for Mark, but there is some squinting that has to take place there as well. The earliest references to the Gospels don't identify authors, just refer to the Gospels or like the memoirs of the apostles or things like that. It's not until around 170 that we first have the Gospels as we know them identified as the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Now, we do have in the earliest manuscript witnesses to these Gospels that preserve titles, the consistent attribution of authorship to the traditional authors, the Gospel according to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But these are 2nd and 3rd century manuscripts, and the titles also appear in different parts of the manuscripts, which is not indicative of something that scribes understood to be original to the text, but to be something that scribes added to the text. And additionally, if you're writing a gospel and no other gospels are in circulation, you don't add the title, "The Gospel According to Me." You only add that title if there are other gospels in circulation, and you need to distinguish yours from theirs. So already the title, "The Gospel According to X," presupposes the circulation of multiple gospels, which also points in the direction of the secondary addition of those titles and the attribution of traditional authorship. And you can go check out the Data Over Dogma podcast, episode 69. Back in July, we talk with a scholar who specializes in gospel authorship named Michael Koch for a lot more details if you like. And the fit for this video has been my Data Over Dogma baseball tee.